Hi there, it's Evie. I'm back. I wanted to complete my thoughts in what I have, my part one of my concern about the vaccine. Where I last left off at was the second part of this possible narrative is the other group, the second group could be Caucasian people with the white privilege or white supremacy mindset would take and reject even entertaining taking that vaccine because there is a face of a black woman representing this particular vaccine, and they will take and reject it because they say, I'm not doing that, I don't trust them, I'm not doing that. So here's the narrative of two different scenarios, the two different groups, one trusting it because the face looks like them, another not trusting it because the face doesn't look like them. But in between the lines, is it technically set up so that it would fall in that kind of manner? So, you don't have to experiment with this group because you don't trust the face of it. You're not going to take it. But this next group might take it because they trust the face of it. Just be careful. Just be mindful. And keep in mind that sometimes scenarios or narratives will take those that's running the narrative. It's almost like playing chess. We'll use strategies to convince you that it's okay to take. I'll give you an example. Back in time, when during the Spanish Inquisition, I'm probably saying it incorrectly, but let me say this: the Portuguese that went over into Africa to inquire of free labor by basically taking the Negroes, because they got it from Negro land, from Africa to bring them back to the different destination, whether it was the Caribbean, whether it was England, whether it was the United States. Those Spanish that came to inquire of getting slaves, as they communicated with the others that weren't in that same group of Negroes, that they were black, but they weren't Negroes. So it was they had different principles, different beliefs, and at the end of the day, the Negroes are Hebrews, and they worship the living God, Yah, Elohim, the sovereign God. They worship that one living God. And the other tribes and other black people that were in that continent, that were around that area, that did business with the Portuguese, were people or groups. We all were up there looking alike, but they were groups that were into paganism and multi-god worship, the little G's. So it was nothing for them to go ahead and communicate with the Portuguese Spaniards that came there. You know why it was okay? And we know why they trusted them? Because they looked alike. Because those Portuguese people that came there were black. And for years I had thought that the face of the Portuguese people presently are Caucasian looking people. Well, they might not be necessarily as pasty as some, but they're Caucasian looking people. The face of Portuguese people that I see presently. So for years I thought that there was that kind of look that was over there, but not so. And those the Portuguese, they were Portuguese Jews. They were black Portuguese Jews that was converted. They was forced into being converted into Christianity because they threatened to take their children, to do harm to their children, and for them to leave being Jewish, or no, not Jewish, excuse me, leave from being Hebrews and from being Israelites to converting over into their form of Christianity. And if they didn't conform, they was going to do harm to their children. And so with that being said, and they shipped them out to different places, their children that they kept and adopted, they conditioned them with propaganda and foolishness and lies and deceit. And they sent those very children that they raised up under their ideology over into Africa to go get them some work, some free work. And in the midst of them going to get some free work, they went and commingled as well over there in Africa. But please understand, let it be very, very clear and very, very known that they were able to communicate with those that helped set up the traps for the Negroes. They was able to communicate with the other tribal men that might have been under the Hamitic tribes and not under the Shemitic tribes. They were able to do that because they looked alike. It was a black man communicating with another black man. So I say all that to say this: be mindful. We have bought into that narrative too many times. We have been going through this fight for over 2,000 years at this point. And at the end of the day, we have to be mindful of whose report will we believe. Well, let's not keep being deceived. Here we are in 2020. God is certainly showing himself to be true. At the end of the day, here we are. What the world has experienced with the COVID pandemic. Are you really going to trust it? Let's think about it. Be mindful. Don't be so quick just because they know the strategy. It's like playing chess. They know the strategy. They know how to get people into believing the narrative and letting your walls down. A young woman said something that was very, 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 very thought-provoking. She said to a committee that she went to talk to, an open mic town hall meeting, and she said, how long are we going to let our oppressors act like they're our saviors? Be careful, and be mindful. That's what I wanted to say. That was in my spirit real hard, and we have been blinded and so distracted, but we have to be careful, because at the end of the day, like I said, to get the point across, they will take and use a face to bring comfort, to say, oh, I can kind of trust you. We look alike. We got some commonalities. And I'm not saying that, going back to the young woman, the woman that made this or contributed to this vaccine, I'm not saying that she went in with this intention of making a deceitful vaccine. What I'm saying is that to get people to conform to it, sometimes they'll get someone that look like it to convince you to be all right to do it. They will use fear and they will use deceit to try to convince you to go along with their program. You dare not ask, what's in this stuff? Why should I trust it? Because when you ask that, then you're being defiant. The actress that played in Black Panther, the little sister, she had made a comment in her concerns about the vaccine. They done daggone near vilified her for even inquiring. Don't do people like that. Why must I be forced or bullied into a situation? Don't do that. You've done that enough and with time. And at the end of the day, when anyone dares to question it, then it's a problem. Stop doing that. At the end of the day, everyone pray. Trust God with all your heart, because at the end of the day, in the natural, we're going through one thing, but in the spirit, it is the fight. The enemy know that we are close. We are in the day of the Lord, and he knows that his time is up. But he's trying to get all the company he can, and he's trying to make sure all those that need to have their eyes open are blinded. Open up your eyes. Let the Lord show you. We are them people. Just something to think about. Have a blessed day.